disgusting loss against the Detroit Pistons due to lack of effort, lack of execution, lack of the coach managing the game. There are a couple of reasons why the Bulls just suffered their most embarrassing loss of the season. We're talking about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And the Bulls got their ass utterly kicked today by a team in the Detroit Pistons that was missing just about every single starter on their team. It's utterly disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. It doesn't make any sense how this team could not play better against the Detroit Pistons that were missing Cade Cunningham, Ausar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey. That's their whole projected starting five that was out of the fucking game. You allowed Paul Reed, who came into this game averaging, I think, 4 points per game, to outscore everybody on your team, to outwork everybody on your team. That is what you allowed to happen in this game. It's utterly disgusting. It's stupid. And the Bulls play like a bunch of bitches today. That's what they did. They played like a bunch of bitches and whores. It is so disappointing to see this team put up this level of performance. And I want to be clear here. This team is better than this. They're better than this. This is not sky is falling and everything. This was the one. Losing against the Cavs, we're in it down the stretch of the game. Losing against the Spurs, we're in it down the stretch of the game. Losing against the Bucks, we're in it down to the stretch of the game. The Bulls never held a lead in this game at all. Not 1 minute. The Pistons led this game for the entirety of the game. The Bulls didn't play with any effort. They didn't play with any fight on the defensive side of the ball. Listen, I get it. Even without Josh Giddey playing in this game, the Bulls should have been able to be better in this game, man. I could have taken a loss if you were competitive. I could have taken a loss if somebody just went completely off on you. You allowed Paul Reed to get 28 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block against you. That's just work. That's just work. You got outworked today. Duncan Robinson with 23 points. Dennis Jenkins with 18 points. And what did the Bulls have? We got 21 from Buzelis, 14 rebounds, good. 15 points from Isaac Okoro, okay. 20 points from Kevin Huerter, all right. Nikola fucking Vucevic. And once again, Billy Donovan recognizes too late after the run. The Bulls were on a fucking 19-9 run. You brought in Nikola Vucevic back into the game, and it went left. And then you didn't recognize it. It took you almost 4 minutes to recognize you killed your team's momentum. This loss is on Billy Donovan and Nikola fucking Vucevic. That's what this loss is on. This is trash, is what this has been. Trash. This is by far the worst loss of the season. By far. The worst loss 11 games into the season. And I don't know if you can have a worse loss than this one. I get it. The Bulls were missing people. The Pistons were missing people. But the Bulls still had more of their starters out there than what the Pistons had. And you absolutely got completely waxed, wasted, and ruined by the Detroit Pistons today. That's what happened. This was pathetic. This was bad. Vooch has been bad for now 4 games in a row. Billy Donovan's coaching has been mad questionable for a few games in a row as well. Keanu, great point. in the bonus. They were in the bonus at the 8-minute mark and didn't attack yet again to get to the goddamn free throw line. Terrible effort, bro. Terrible effort. And I don't know how you live this one down. Now the Bulls got to deal with all the smoke that's coming to the Chicago Bulls for the effort over the last. They deserve all of it. They deserve all the smoke for it. The Bulls opened up the fourth quarter on a 7-2 run. A 17-2 run to get the lead down to 1. The players that were in the game when that happened: Buzelis, Okoro, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, Patrick Williams. Those are the players that played while you had that run. Modest scored 5, Okoro scored 5, 4 from Kevin Huerter, 2 from Trey Jones, 1 point from P. Will. The Bulls then brought in Nikola Vucevic back into the game. And then the Detroit Pistons went on a 23-10 run. A 23-10 run. And Billy Donovan didn't realize, again, not trusting the players that got you back to have a chance to win this game. And then you wonder why like people don't trust you. This was a bad effort. It was a bad performance. It was bad coaching. It was bad everything around. Everything around was bad for the Chicago Bulls in this game. And you're not going to win games when you play this badly. You're just not going to win games when you play this bad. I pray someone just asked Billy Donovan about his rotation process. Why does he choose to play a guy who doesn't give us nothing? Vooch has made it obvious he doesn't care for this team, man. Listen, I can't say he doesn't care for this team with the way he played through the first 6 or 7 games. He played really well through the first 6 or 7 games. But since then, I just don't know what happened for the switch to get flipped so badly in the other direction. Back to no, I can't say that, Billy. We haven't had Josh Giddey, no Coby White. I can't say that back to reality yet. But I understand why you feel that way. I will say that. I definitely understand why you feel that way. This reminds me of that game against Cleveland when Max fucking Strus cooked us with a bunch of G Leaguers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let the effective lineup stay in until it's not, Billy. Exactly. You called me out last game for Billy's coding games, and now your boys thinking it's sketchy too. No, because it's still fucking stupid. I'm sorry, Matthew. You're not getting an apology for something dumb and stupid. He's just playing bad. This isn't the first time we've seen Vooch play this bad. Thinking that it's some conspiracy with throwing games is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. You're not getting an apology for that. And you thinking that that's going to give you a victory lap, you may actually get cooked worse for it. Let me be upset at the team right now. Don't come with your dumb shit. I've been cooking motherfuckers all week. You don't want to be a victim. I can tell you that right now. Vooch hasn't been good since the Sixers game. Like, my goodness. It's like putting that game winner took all the bit of mojo he had left. It's gone now. It's gone. I don't hear nobody talking nothing about Patrick Williams tonight because although he had a bad shooting night, he still hustled more than I could say for a 7-foot-tall center. Listen, you say what you will about P. Will, he gave defensive effort today. He shot the ball for shit, like you said, but he did give defensive effort today. Same thing for Isaac Okoro. And, Isaac didn't even shoot the ball badly today. He was 71% from the field, but Isaac Okoro was one of the only players giving consistent effort on the defensive side of the ball tonight. One of the only guys giving consistent effort on that side of the ball. It was too good to be true with Billy Donovan in the early 6 games. Vets are young players. Billy is not the coach to take the Bulls to the next level. Well, fuck. We're not even asking you to take it to the next level. We asking you to just play competently and make just smart. Like, nothing that Billy Donovan has failed at is advanced coaching. He's failing at simple shit. Ride the hot hand. Anybody, Shea can roll his ass in the stadium and figure out to at least ride the hot hand. Like, damn, you can't even do that as a professional coach? You don't know how to ride the hot hand? Stupid. To be honest, it looked like the players didn't like each other tonight. I even saw Vooch gesture towards Modest at one point. These guys are fighting against each other more than they are against. That Vooch is an op. So there you go on that one. Vooch is an op. I don't want to say back to reality, but this was not a good look. Yeah, we were missing Giddey and Coby, but the Pistons were missing exactly. Like if you can't keep up, you know what the Pistons did today? The Pistons came out and they played like a team that was like, all right, we're missing our best guys. Let's go out here and let's fight and compete. Let's just go out here and fight and compete. This Bulls team came out here like, damn, hey, the Pistons fighting. It almost seemed like the Bulls thought because Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson were out of this game, it almost seems like they thought, bet, we got this one. And then they just played like they could just lollygag around. And then by the time they realized they needed to start taking seriously, when they came out in the fourth quarter, it almost like it was too late. Javon Carter is better on defense than Vooch, and he's 6 feet tall. Listen, there was a play in which Trey Jones guarded their center Paul Reed better than Nikola Vucevic did. It just is. Bulls got no dogs. Modest played scared all game, passing and hesitating every time he got the ball instead of driving. Listen, the way that Modest was pushed out of certain places was definitely frustrating. Now, he finished with a great stat line. And for people who didn't watch the game, I'm sure they're going to come in here and try to be like, but he had 21 and 14. Yeah, but if you watch this game, this was a game where it was there for Modest to take over. And he couldn't do it. This is why when I was telling people this offseason, chill out on crowning Modest Buzelis quite yet. It's going to take a little bit of time. Me and Pat went at it, not like arguing, but we went back and forth because Pat thought, hey, well, Modest is going to come here and average 18 this season. I'm like, bro, I don't know about that. Now, I was more so saying because of the number of shots that were going to go to Coby and Vooch and Giddey and stuff like that. But, like, you got to get that shit together, man. Vooch should be nothing but a backup center at this stage of his career. I can't say that necessarily, but the stretch that he's on right now has been bad. It's been very, very, very bad, the way that Nikola Vucevic has played for this team. There's just no other way around that. I was actually looking forward to this game, expecting a good win from the Bulls because of the injury-riddled Pistons, but in typical Bulls fashion, we lose always. Just constantly disappoint. So much disappointment. Bulls bitch out when the teams get real physical with them. Listen, I can't even say that necessarily. Now, I can't say over this stretch, you're absolutely right. But it's such a night and day because this team was dealing with the physicality really well to start off the season. And now it's just like, where did all that go? Post game, Billy said we're not talented enough to play desperate. Well, what the fuck, bro? Like, Billy ain't got room to talk. Play the guys that are playing the best on the goddamn court, Billy. If that's the case. Modest pre-draft concerns, self-creation, indecisiveness while attacking are being put on the pedestal right now. That's a great point, Vikram. Great point. The thing that annoys me, coaches got fired for accomplishing more than Billy has, and we got this motherfucker for like 2 or 3 more years. They're locked in with Billy. This front office, they love Billy Donovan. And it may be their undoing. As a lifelong Bulls fan, shout out to Kendall, since Bill Cartwright era, this game is shameful. We lost to the Pistons reserve. We lost to their stunt doubles. Shout out if you get the reference there. Y'all may be too young to get that reference. Holland Punk Monsters. I can't say that. I don't agree with that at all. Modest dropped 21 points, and I think most of that time Holland was guarding him, so I can't say that. What's happening with Vooch? Has he checked out? Bro, how do you hit a game winner and you get worse after hitting the game winner? You would think that would have reinvigorated him some, right? Like that would have given him some energy on the last half of the season because he hit a game winner. And it's almost like he used all his mojo on that game winner and now he's done. That's almost what it's like. THC wouldn't have had 50. Like get off of that. THC wouldn't have had 50. Bill Cartwright had an era. Well, yeah, the Bill Cartwright era. Yeah, there was definitely a Bill Cartwright era. If you don't know the Bill Cartwright era, you're probably young there, Todd. Well, no, Todd, I know you're not young. Modest is high-level role player. Giddey I mean, yeah, as this stands right now, he's a high-level role player, but he's in his second year and he's 21 years old. Billy is called a player's coach, but relies on his vets too much. He never took out DeMar when he played bad. He never did it to Zach. Well, he did it to Zach once, then folded after the backlash, and now we don't do it to Vooch. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Vooch body language since he's been shit, almost like he wants to be traded, and they told him no. Well, I mean, you're definitely not going to get traded if you play like shit, so you would think you would be more motivated to play well if you wanted to get your ass up out of here. Like, I don't know what to tell you with that one, because that's bad. This was really frustrating. This was a really frustrating loss by the Chicago Bulls, man. Isaac Okoro, he's not been good, but on the flip side, Lonzo has been. Oh, listen, I got to disagree with you on that one. Isaac Okoro has been really good for the Bulls. It may not, if you're a stat sheet watcher, it may not stand out to you, but if you watch the game and watch his defense and watch his rotations, watch how he hedges players at time to keep them from getting the ball, Isaac Okoro is doing exactly what he was brought in here to do. Now, for people that look at the box score and want to ascertain a player's value by a box score, it may not stand out to you, but Okoro's been really good for the Bulls defensively. Really, really good for the Bulls defensively. So I gotta disagree with you there. Manos, although a couple of bad games, he still looks better than what Vooch. Oh yeah, Manos doesn't look nearly as bad as Nikola Vucevic. It's not even remotely on the same level. Nah, I'm always just trying to add some levity to this bullshit, right? I feel you, bro. I feel you. Could have given Essengate some minutes instead of this bump. Essengate's not there. He's not there. So he's down in the G. Vooch lost a matchup to a man they call B-Ball Paul. That's that. Do they really call him that? I didn't even know that. I didn't know they call him B-Ball Paul. I guess the start of the season was an illusion, seems like right now. Well, no, you got to keep in mind, no Giddey the last two games. We had no Io in two of those games, two other games as well. So I can't say that it's illusion, right? But I will say that this team doesn't have the same, like I didn't think I know that losing Josh Giddey is going to affect the offense, right? But I didn't think losing Josh Giddey would be this impact of like the edge completely leaves your team. And that's just bad. Yeah, Okoro been decent. Yeah, Okoro's been solid. Okoro's been really good. Like I said, for people who try to just look at a box score and ascertain a player's value by box score, it may not stand out to you. But if you watch the game of basketball and watch for the little things, Okoro's absolutely been helping this team. Absolutely helping this team. The thing is, Modest doesn't even look bad. His weaknesses are just glaring. No, I can't agree with you there either. Modest has looked bad. He looked bad in the last game. He looked very bad in the Bucks game as well. Like he's had games where he has looked bad. I didn't even watch the game, and I could tell the Bulls struggled. I mean, Vooch 6 points, 25 minutes, and 3-10 shooting got to be better. Yeah, but here's the thing. I get what you're getting at. That's an easy thing to pick out, but you can't just look at the stat sheet and then try to say, oh, I could tell where they struggled at, because that's not always indicative of that. Dalen Terry makes me truly believe if I was tall, I could have had a shot at playing in the NBA. That is hilarious. What happened to Vooch? After the winning shot, he's been trash on everything, my boy. Everything. He's literally been trash on everything. Haize, imagine that we had a rent protecting center. You broke? Are you broke, Shay? You need a rent protecting center? That's crazy. That's wild. A rim protecting center, and a lot of those games, including this one that we lost, wouldn't have even lost it. I mean, yeah, especially over this stretch. So, in Bulls franchise history, I don't even know what you're responding to. I'm mad I even gave Vooch any praise just for him to turn around and start doing this. This shit is even bad. Just Vooch, this is below his standards. This isn't shit we expect. This is below expect. Yeah, listen. This, like, you expect Vooch to have bad defensive games, right? Like, that's the expectation with Nikola Vucevic. You expect him to have bad defensive games. This shit, though, this is different. This is way different. Jalen Terry is just not an NBA type player. Look forward, all bark, no bite in his improvement since he got drafted. Listen, I know that people want to shit on Jalen Terry, but it's really hard for young players to find rhythm when you're not playing consistently. I would not be surprised at all if Jalen is a player that goes away and in 3 or 4 years are like, hey, you know who's actually a pretty solid role player? Like, think of Chris Dunn. Think about how bad Chris Dunn looked here. And then how he's really turned it, and now that he's kind of just focused on being a defensive specialist, he's solid, right? I can see Jalen Terry doing something like that. But it's probably not going to be here. That opportunity here is gone now. That's gone, and I'm not mad at that. Like, at this point, like, Jalen hasn't done or shown anything to where he deserves to stay here. So, Antoine Johnson, and again, Billy refuses to play Jalen Smith in these comebacks. Bro, and listen, be clear. Jalen Smith didn't have a great game at all today, but he had a better game than, like, let's just go over this. In 25 minutes, Nikola Vucevic had 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. He's 3 of 10 from the field. Jalen Smith played 11 minutes less than Nikola Vucevic, and he had 9 points, 4 rebounds, no turnovers. He was 3 of 8 from the field. Jalen deserved to be on the court today. He deserved to be on the court. He's deserved to be on the court the last 3 games in a row in the fourth quarter. And Billy Donovan, the head coach, has taken a player that was out of the rotation at the end of last season and has put together a solid couple of weeks, and he's literally looked at that player and said, I'm not going to trust you in crunch time. I'm not going to trust you when the game matters the most. How do you expect a player to keep up their level of play and their motivation if they play well and you look at them and say, we ain't got no minutes for you in the There's no reason why Nikola Vucevic should have been playing 11 minutes more than Jalen Smith today. He just shouldn't. There's no way around that. He should have not been playing that. And that's just, man, Jalen needs at least 20 minutes. Listen, he's shown that, right? Now, if he starts playing bad, cool, restrict his minutes again. And maybe it's one of those things where maybe Vooch plays really good for 10 games in a row. Then maybe you have 5 games in a row where Jalen Smith needs to be your closer. Then maybe it goes back to Nikola Vucevic for 4 or 5 games. Then maybe it goes back to Jalen Smith for 6 or 7 games. Like, I'm not saying the starting lineup needs to change, but as a head coach, you need to understand to read the flow of the game, meaning that you need to understand, all right, this guy doesn't have it today, but this guy does. So down the stretch of the game, that guy's going to be the one in the game. And that is what Billy Donovan said was going to be here with going into your depth and wanting to play 10 players deep. He talked about it being who's playing the best and we've moved away from it. Why have we moved away from what we already said and established was going to be one of the backbones and benefits of this team? Why are we doing that? I have no idea. Cade Cunningham looked like a bust his first 3 years in the league. Got to give these young players time to grow. He didn't look like a bust. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you there. Cade Cunningham never looked like a bust. Now, he didn't look like a player that was going to necessarily turn into a star, but Cade Cunningham never looked like a bust. Never. I got to push back with you on that one. He never looked like a bust. That's a huge thing to say. Like, do you know how bad you have to be for a bust? Let's just go over this. In his first year in the league, Cade Cunningham averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. In his second year in the league, 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. His third year in the league, 22 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. Last season, where did he look? Where's the bust? We gotta stop using hyperbole. There was never a time where Cade Cunningham looked like a bust. Never. Now, he's really started putting it together and looking like a star, but Cade Cunningham never looked like a bust, bro. That's just incorrect. I don't see purpose to have Pat Will when we got a Okoro, because Okoro ain't going to play 48 minutes, and you can have multiple point of attack defenders. Most teams need multiple point of attack defenders. What? What are you saying? Billy D relies too much on his supposed to be best player instead of making an adjustment. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was real bad, man. I truly think and believe that once Coby, Giddey, and Zach come back, and if they actually play games, listen, this team is going to be better. They're going to be better. I have no doubt that this team is going to be better. Now, maybe that comes back and blows up in my face, but I have no doubt that they're going to be better. This is just a rough stretch right now, and it sucks that we're here. We're now one game above 500 after starting off the season 5-0. We're on a 4-game losing streak. The Bulls need to get their shit together. They have to get their shit together. So, we shall see. We shall see. But overall, this game sucked. It sucked to see the Bulls, and then they at the end there they got on that run that gave us a little bit of hope, and then Billy Donovan killed the momentum today. He killed the momentum today. So, and again, it wasn't just Billy Donovan. Nikola Vucevic killed the momentum. There was times where Modest defensively didn't give us what we needed. There were some other mistakes made at times, but once again, the Bulls lose, and they have people that are on their team that actively hurt us. Now you get a couple of days off. You come back Sunday. We don't play again until Sunday. We may have Josh Giddey and Coby White back on Sunday against Utah, and we'll see what the Bulls can do. Because right now, it's been a struggle, and we'll see what's going to happen and if the Bulls can start righting the ship a little bit. But that is my time for tonight, y'all. I'm not doing the full typical post-game length because I'm not going to lie to you. This loss sucked, and I was pissed off. I didn't even want to do post-game because I was too pissed off. But had to take care of business. I'm not going to leave y'all without a dope pod to step to. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave us a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See Red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.